Good afternoon, everyone. All right. So when I arrived in the UAE, even before I could get hands to the keys to my apartment, I was blessed with a credit card. And back home, my domestic bank also contacted me that they are upgrading my credit limit. So I really felt very lucky. Jennifer, who comes to work in my house today morning, mentioned that you're going to the DFS summit, so probably you're meeting a lot of banks. But when it comes to my application to apply for a personal loan to pay my child's school fee, that's where I really struggle. So best of luck. I hope you get a lot of success meeting banks at the summit. So I realized that the clicker. I realized that there is a deep-rooted problem to solve because both of us might have arrived in the UAE at the same time, but when it comes to accessing financial services, we are miles apart. So with this aim in mind, we started Yabx. If you see, our founders come from a diverse background from McKinsey and, as a consultant. George comes from American Express and Capital One with years of risk management experience. And Krishna, who's here in the audience, he comes from a telecom background. We realized that in order to solve Jennifer's problem, we have to look at not just financial inclusion, but all the ambient data that lies around a customer and then monetize it to create a credit use case. So I'm sure by the end of the summit, when Jennifer goes back home, I'm the 8th speaker on the slot. So she'll have a myriad of options coming her way. But instead of trying to make her work hard with a new application, what we realized is there is already a lot of background information which is available, let's say from telecom operators or wallets which we partner with. And using this overlap, we can create a score with the banking data, use our low-code, no-code platform to create a lending product, and then make her get access to the first micro loan or a handset loan or a SME loan in case if she is running an individual business. So with that, we started Yabx. We are working as a B2B fully functional lending as a service platform, either doing revenue share from, let's say, partnering with banks and telecom operators, or in cases where banks themselves acquire and manage the customers, we are just providing them license. And in some cases where banks have a fully functional digital stack, we are providing credit scoring as a service, leveraging alternate data. So typically, it's a 9-step process to go through defining the product and then configuring it on our platform, integrating with different data sources and creating customer journeys. And then once all of it is done, then we make sure that the customer gets the first official loan from a proper channel. And then once they do that, they become financially included with a proper identity of a loan. So bulk of our revenue actually comes from, this is the traction that we have had over 5 years of our existence with more than 125 million customers scored. And we mostly leverage on telecom partnerships such as Pan Africa. We are working with almost all the important telecom players like MTN, Airtel, Orange. And very recently, we have also entered into a joint venture with Standard Chartered Ventures to launch a Pan Africa digital lending platform. We are also present in Latin America through Claro, which is more than 40 million customer base. And we are also present in Nepal and other parts of Southeast Asia. So we have experienced good 3x revenue growth, currently standing at 7.3 million ARR. When it comes to our uniqueness of offering with the market, very often we end up competing with, let's say, wallet-based coding companies or airtime credit companies or, let's say, core lending platforms itself. But where we differentiate ourselves is basically our scoring coverage, which goes beyond just wallet data. So we look at very granular telecom data coming from customers as well. And when it comes to service coverage, we just do not only airtime loans, but we're also doing consumer durable loans, handset loans, and also banking transformation. And when it comes to capabilities of core banking platform, we make sure that whatever corner cases of lending are possible, we are able to cover that using our platform. We have got a healthy pipeline of our funnel of deals through which we are sure that we are able to, let's say, reach about 113 million in FY28. And a good part of our business is we are able to run this profitably. So towards early of this year, we were able to get positive EBITDA. The first two numbers have to be read in red. But at least this year, it shows promising prospect that this can be a profitable business. So right now we are seeking $1 million of investment, which should be strategic in nature. which we are going to use to expand across new markets and invest mostly in product development. Thank you.
Question. So thank you for the presentation. You mentioned that you are offering, for example, when you partner with banks, alternative data to do the scoring. Can you just give some examples of those alternative data?
All right. So typically, this is data which a bank would not get, for example, looking at banking financial statements, or let's say from a credit bureau. This is data that is more behavioral in nature, which is my communication pattern, or let's say when I'm doing a recharge, how am I using my wallet, or how am I spending on an e-commerce website. So I look at this data over a consistent period of time, let's say 18 months. At the same time, I look at the bank's performance in 18 months and try to say independently, can I use this data to create a score and predict any new customer who's coming to take a loan from me in the future.
Just a question, 1 million USD fundraise seems low for a business of 7.3 million ARR, and you've got 1 million coming in profits. You don't need 1 million USD. You've got 1 million you're going to make this year. So
yeah,
why so low?
I mean, if we had the choice, we would have really wanted to raise more, but this is the prize money on offer for the event. So
that was well said. Well said.
So yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That was funny, by the way. A quick question on, can you just quickly walk us through the customer journey in this business? Because we hear a lot of businesses that have similar storylines, but their approaches are different.
Yeah, so our fundamental principle is that we don't want to confuse the customer with a new experience or a new app. So whatever channel that they're familiar, channel or brand that they're familiar with, let's say even if they're using a USSD basic feature phone, so we try to get the journey continue from the same feature phone experience. If they're using an app, they'll find a take a loan option on the app itself. So they will click it. If we, as much as possible, will leverage the background data that exists from the customer so that they don't have to do new data entry, and then give the score, and then they take a loan, and then they see the loan proceeds on the app itself.